What up, y'all? Welcome to the Epic Trash Show with myself, your host, Bruce, my boy Chris, my boy Crow. We're back for our third episode.
3.
Yeah. So, if you need to get a hold of us, feel free to hit us up at our email, epictrash@groupmail.com, or on Twitter, Epic Trash Show. What else we got?
We're also on YouTube, where if you've watched any of the Epic Trash episodes, that's probably where you watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also I'm going to be starting an Instagram very soon, and I know we're also on Facebook.
Yep, we got the Facebook page going. I've been putting the episodes up every week there too, so just to keep everybody updated. Go ahead and like that page if you're on Facebook, if you want to follow us there. All of our news will be available there too. Links
in the description.
Yeah, or on screen.
Yep.
Or whoever edits this video.
Which would be you.
So yeah, what do we got going for housekeeping this week?
We have a new table this week. It's square, it's close, it's personal, it's epic trash. We also have a green screen behind us. There might be green now. And it might not.
There might be a flaming dumpster right there too. I don't know.
It could really be anything.
It could be anything.
The possibilities. Yeah. Let us know what we should put up there.
Right. So, but I think we're still working on studio stuff. We did order another table.
Yeah, it's in the mail.
Which is round.
You hear that? We're coming for you, IGN.
Yeah.
We got your number.
They have a half round table, I think.
Do they?
Yeah, but it's like a marble or stone top. It's very fancy.
Yeah, we need some donations for that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so then the other thing that I want to talk about is the YouTube's timestamps, and I want to tell you how YouTube timestamps work. So I put the timestamps in, and then so on this episode you'll probably see them somewhere right here, and they'll have all of our topics and then what times they come in. In the description box, those time codes or timestamps, which is what they're called for YouTube, are clickable, but only when you're on PC. So if you're watching us on a mobile device, you
get good.
Right, you can see what those are, but you're going to have to scrub the timeline bar. Like, so if something starts at 4, you're going to have to try to find 4 with your finger, because it won't be a clickable link like it is on PC.
That's weird. I can get clickable timestamps in comment sections on YouTube videos on my phone.
You can?
Yeah.
But can you get them in the description box?
I don't know. I know for sure.
Well, why don't you look right now?
Well,
because there's timestamps on our YouTube.
Those I didn't. I looked at the video that one specifically, and in the description it was just showing up as like
as a numbers, text, right?
Not links.
So there must be a special way to do it. So without talking about it too much.
Yeah.
But I noticed that when I was on my PC and watching them, I could click on the codes.
That's strange.
It is really strange. Maybe there's a different way of doing it. Maybe
it's fascinating.
Some kind of symbol.
Fix your phone.
But the way timestamps work
is that you have to.
We don't know how they work. They're magic.
Yeah, so I think we're still working on studio stuff, and we're still looking for any comments for anything that we could do better. Actually, maybe is this a good time to bring up some of the feedback that we've gotten already?
Sure.
Or is there more housekeeping?
I think that's
things in the news.
We do have a few. We got some feedback.
Do you want to start with YouTube, or should we start with yours?
Go with YouTube.
Okay, let's go with YouTube. Okay, so we got 2 comments on our second video.
2
versus 1 on the first video. So if this is a growing trend, we should get 3 on this video. But our comments on the second one are from Legendary. He said, or she said, "What an amazing podcast! Great job, bros. I smashed like." Thanks.
Thanks,
Legendary.
Gay.
And then we have another one from Marcus de Beast Clay saying, "Well done, period."
Well done.
And so our first question of the week, or the question of the week from episode 1 and episode 2 was how could we improve, or basically give us some feedback.
Yeah.
And so I have some feedback from somebody else here.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that I know is an avid gamer. His name starts with a T, and his gamer tag is Puppy Supremacy. That's not actually what it is for sure, but I know he knows who I'm talking about. So he said it's definitely an improvement, but it's hard to tell the quality because I'm watching on a phone, not a monitor. The studio needs to be improved, though, not just changing the table cover. The table cover was actually just flipped over because I don't really like Xbox colors. And I really like
Shots
Sony
fired.
PlayStation. But he actually he likes Xbox a lot more too. So.
Oh no.
Puppy supremacy.
Okay.
Not cool. He also went on to say the content you guys talk about is relevant and interesting, but you take way too long to get into it. So maybe our intro is too long, like this one.
Yeah, we probably ignored that feedback. Thanks.
Maybe instead of talking about your ways of keeping in touch, Facebook, Twitter, etc., you could just put videos, basically stuff in the direction. But overall, he said it's a big improvement. So thank you, Puppy Supremacy. What other feedback did we get?
I didn't get any feedback, but for our question of the week, we actually had some answers on that. So I'm going to read those off real quick. So the question of last week was, what gaming achievement or trophy are you most proud of? And at ScorpioloYT, that's ScorpioloYT, he said he's most proud of his BO4 Platinum. We actually had a second person who they seconded that, and that's at DK Dynamite 1. Then my boy Luke Thomas NY, he commented. He said in Dead Rising he had to survive 14 hours in the mall in infinite mode. He's super proud of that. Also, he's got a Twitch channel at the same name, at Luke Thomas NY, so go check him out. And his cousin was there when I was talking to him, and he said that he's most proud of his 100% completion for Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Wow. So that's all the questions of the week. We'll ask another question at the end of the show, so stick around for that. Next up, we got games that are going to be released this week. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we got Trials Rising from Ubisoft, which is that motocross type of it's like an arcadey type game, which I played the original Trials game that was free on PlayStation for a while, and I'm having a fun time with that. So I played the demo of Trials when it was in like the closed beta, and it was super fun. So that comes out Tuesday, and then on Friday you get Terry Crews Simulator, Crackdown 3. So and then Far Cry New Dawn and Metro Exodus, which I'm actually quite excited for because I played all the other ones and they were great. So
I might pick that up too.
Yeah. What I thought was interesting, the new Far Cry I think is only $40.
Yeah, because I feel like it's almost like an expansion.
It is an expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a full price expansion.
It is the same thing with what was it, Fallout 3 with what was it? It was like that 80s like sci-fi cyberpunk expansion.
Oh, it wasn't Fallout, it was Far Cry. Yeah,
Far Cry
Blood Dragon.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and isn't there another one not Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row? There was the Get Out of Hell.
Yep, Get Out of Hell.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that expansion much because
I love that game.
They took all my favorite elements out of it.
Oh, did they?
They make you just play as one character.
Oh.
Specifically, you can't play as your own character.
See, I really like try and get hit by the cars as much as possible. The insurance money fraud or whatever.
Fraud, yeah, that's
so good. No,
I just like
not a big Saints Row fan.
I like being able to make my character look as ridiculous as possible.
Right.
Just give them like chrome colored skin for no reason and like
just
completely black
over the
eyes
top.
and like just over the top.
Nice. All right. Well, so that's what's coming out this week.
I think you said the last one.
Metro Exodus. Next week, I think that's for the rest of the month we got Anthem and Anno 1800, but Anthem is the big one.
Yeah.
So, you got anything to say about that, or are we gonna just roll into the news?
Let's just jump into the news.
Let's just jump into it. So for the news, we got Axiom Verge. It's free on the Epic Game Store right now. It goes until February 21st, so pick that up while you can. But funny story about that, if you got it off the Epic Store for free, people who played it during the first week found out that once they got to a certain level, it would always crash. And it's because the developer who built the game, when he was pulling out the assets so that it was not part of Steam anymore, he pulled every file that had Steam out of the game. And when you ran past Steam pipes that were in the game, it would try and find the audio file. can't find it, so it'll crash every
terrible.
time. But they patched it, so it's stable now. So you just when you download it, you gotta just make sure to download the update, and it's good to
one
go.
heck of an error.
Yeah, I think it's funny because it's like no one expected. He's like, well, we don't want it, the what is it, the API from Steam Store in here, so throw that all out.
Yeah.
Oops. So.
Control A.
Yep. So, and then next up we got Blizzard. Bad news for everything Activision right now. There's a whole bunch. There's actually a few stories about that. But did you have any info on that?
Yeah, specifically Blizzard Blizzard Activision, I should say. Is I mix them up in my head all the time.
They're the same.
They're basically the same company.
Yeah.
But Blizzard Activision is announcing mass layoffs.
Yeah.
They're going through a restructuring phase right now. Hundreds are expected, and maybe more. Hard to say right now, but they're not doing too well. They've been having some issues with their stock. Their stock has gone down. It's lost almost half of its value
since
in
October.
Months.
Yeah.
And so they're doing what they can to cut costs and stuff like that. And this is one of the reasons why I personally am against the idea of like private or publicly funded gaming publishing companies.
Yeah.
Because it's stuff like this that pretty much kills true innovation and creativity.
Right.
And once you lose that private ownership, the private owners are the ones who have the vision. Right.
It's true, and it's like it's not even how good your company does, it's how good the crowds perceive it to be. It's crazy how that actually can affect businesses on the back end like that.
And looking at the long term, I'm not sure really what this is going to mean for the long term because Blizzard Activision is a pretty huge company.
Mm-hmm.
They own a lot of IPs and stuff. They own a lot of the market.
Yeah.
And they gotta figure something out because if they don't, we could lose a lot of potential. But on the other hand, I don't think they're gonna fall apart completely. But it would be nice to see them kind of like break apart a little bit. Maybe like a piece goes over here, a piece goes over there.
Well, like Blizzard gets
they just
not owned by Activision anymore.
Maybe if they split up, that would probably help a lot.
Yeah,
they've gotten too big for their own good.
I mean, they lost so many people already because Blizzard lost their CFO to Square.
Yeah, they lost two of them.
And then their CEO, he resigned before they were actually thinking about firing him. Mike Morheim, he was the one he actually just resigned.
Yeah.
So, and then in Activision, they were going to fire their CFO, Spencer Newman, but he got a job at Netflix before they even had the chance to do that. So, it's not good. They were, apparently an unnamed source said that they were going to announce the layoffs on Tuesday before their scheduled quarterly earning call. So, and they said they're going to do it to centralize functions and boost profits. So, that's right after.
I think that just to throw this in real quick, I think that the layoffs could be a good thing depending on who they're laying off.
Yeah,
it really depends on who they're laying off.
Right, if they're not doing great with the company.
Yeah.
Well, I know on the upside, maybe they're giving up their publishing duties for Destiny over to Bungie.
Yeah, that's true.
So Bungie's going to have a little more.
I'm really happy for that.
Yeah.
At least Bungie got off that sinking ship before the big things went down. Because if they didn't do that, there's a good chance that Destiny would have just been shut down by Blizzard Activision before they could have had the opportunity to leave.
Right.
And Destiny would be dead. Bungie would be dead.
Yeah, that would
essentially.
Be bad. Yeah, I don't know. Bungie makes good work. I'm sad that they ditched Halo pretty much, but I mean, it's still they did pretty good with Destiny. They seem like they've got the chops that they could pull that off if they needed to.
I think they can.
So hopefully,
especially now that they're out from under. Because, obviously Blizzard and Activision are having a hard time figuring out what the hell they're doing.
And if all that wasn't bad enough to make matters worse, in 2016 they had bought King, the mobile company that does Candy Crush. Mm-hmm. They bought them, and now Sweden is trying to fine them $390 million in taxes.
What?
So that's a yikes. Also, in the news about Activision, apparently, Blizzard, or not Blizzard, Guitar Hero Live, they took the servers down. So now the people who bought the game in the last year are now potentially going to get refunded for that because they started out at their peak right before they took the service down. They had 484 songs that you could play through Guitar Hero TV, which is their like streaming service, which they needed servers to have in order to do that. They had the 484 songs. They killed the servers with GHTV, and now it only has 42 songs. So if you bought the game in the last year, you're entitled to a refund.
It's only been out a year?
No, it's been out for years now, but if you bought it within the last year between December 1st, 2017 and January 1st, 2019, and you live in the U.S., and you do it before the deadline on May 1st, then you can get a refund for the whole game. So it's funny, the guy who's actually suing bought it like on sale for $22, and he's the one who's leading the class action lawsuit.
Nice.
Wow.
So yeah. Next up, we got Apex.
Okay, so Apex has been out for what, a week now?
Not even.
And so the first thing I had to talk about was that I guess they've been having some server issues, probably because of how many players they're actually starting to take on and are running concurrently at the same time has been a huge overload. I don't know, do you have the stats on that?
Of what?
I think they had like how many people in the first...
Oh yeah, they broke a record.
Yeah,
they reached 10 million registered players in 72 hours.
Wow. Yeah.
And Fortnite's record took them 2 weeks to hit that number.
Right.
So, but then they also broke they set their own record at 1 million concurrent players in the past week.
Yeah.
But the Fortnite actually hit their own personal milestone where they hit over 10 million concurrent players during that Marshmello concert we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Big news for Battle Royales.
True.
And so the first news story that I looked over was about Apex servers, and so they've had some issues with crashing, and then so nobody can get on.
No surprise there. That always happens with all the big games.
Right, but allegedly they put an update in, and so they shouldn't have any more issues. So, and I don't know if it was just for the UK servers or if that was maybe where the biggest issue was. Mm-hmm. But that was noted in the story.
So what? Just people couldn't log on?
Yeah, but it was all over the whole.
Oh, so the whole game went down.
Yeah, well, there like players were reportedly having issues. Across every server.
Spotty connectivity.
Right, but so now allegedly that's not an issue, but I guess we'll see as the amount of players is sure to grow.
Gotcha.
And then the other big story I have is kind of more of an EA story, and so it's kind of bringing up the topic of how Apex, Anthem, and Battlefield 5 are going to play together. And run together, I guess. So
in a mishmash battle royale. No, I'm just kidding.
So it's basically how Apex is going to affect, the Anthem sales, and also that game's population, and also how will it play with the update for Battlefield 5, which is Firestorm, which is their battle royale mode.
Firestorm.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, you're probably right. But what is it again?
It's basically their Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 5.
Oh, I see.
Right. Everybody gets a Battle Royale mode.
Right. You get a Battle Royale. You get a Battle Royale.
Yeah, but so I don't really know. I think that it is kind of it's Anthem is definitely going to come out on the 22nd. So I don't know how hard. I think it will affect
Anthem sales.
How many copies get sold or how many people are purchasing it digitally. But
yeah, now that there's this new, I only heard good things about this the Apex. So it's like that coming out. Oh God, can you imagine being EA and like having this is like their flagship, like this is it, guys.
Anthem.
And Anthem coming out, and then this game with the hotness like gets 1 million concurrent players in 2 days. It's like ridiculous.
The life of BioWare, I'm pretty confident, is contingent on the success of Anthem.
I know it's not even BioWare. EA, well, they have FIFA, So never mind, I take that back. But yeah, you're right. It's probably
I don't
wants to take bets, right?
I really don't want to say that, but at the same time, it's like Anthem is the big thing for BioWare.
Yeah.
And if they don't pull it off, then I'm worried for their future.
And it's funny too because I was just talking to my buddy. I'm really like on board for this Anthem thing because it plays like a shooter looter MMO, and it looked like it's very, very close to the stuff that kind of pulled me in with WoW back in my No Lifer days when I was like hooked on that game. Right. So I was like, this has some potential. But then I was talking to my buddy. I never really gave Warframe a chance, but he's like huge into that game, and he was telling me it's pretty much the same game, and that one's free. So it's like, oof.
Yeah. It's really how I think Anthem is going to be maybe where some Destiny players jump, or is like where they're going to get. That's the location for some Destiny players to jump over if they're not if they're bored with Destiny 2 or not happy. But I mean the struggle with it is EA isn't really going to hurt. I mean potentially, because it's like, well, it depends on how much money they're making from the microtransactions of Apex versus the potential sales of Anthem.
Right.
And then later in March, the basically anything that they make from Battlefield 5, if people are interested in playing that Battle Royale.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Apex is actually EA, so they're not really losing money, but so they're kind of cannibalizing their own player base there.
Right, so the thing is more, it's kind of BioWare, who do they want to motivate more? Who do they want?
They're basically playing Hunger Games with themselves.
Yeah, really.
But it's like, well, I was going to say, it's kind of like Respawn versus BioWare, and who's going to do better. Yeah. It's like, which goes back to your point. But I think it's hard because they're all shooters,
right?
And this is all happening within pretty much a month, within 30 days. I don't remember exactly when Battlefield 5 comes out, but I think it's early March. So it's kind of like, where do the shooters go? Where do those players go? Are they going to be playing Anthem?
It makes you wonder too. Apex? It's like now that you're EA, what would ever motivate you to like release a battle royale game that is going to cut into your other game, unless you thought that other game wasn't great?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that makes me worried now.
Yeah, it's almost like a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
In one play. It's like 3 plays in one.
Right.
Maybe it's possible that part of it is just a play because like EA hasn't been doing super well in the public eye.
Right.
So they're I know that their financials have been doing a little bit better.
Yeah, they're not Activision.
Yeah, but they were doing, like, their financials were doing pretty poorly for a while.
Yeah.
And then recently they started to go back up, but I mean, I think that it's possible that EA might be just doing this to dominate the battle royale market.
But for a month?
Well, I mean, if they control,
future.
That's like 3 out of 4 or 5 battle royale mode games that are available.
Right.
If you have the majority of the market, then you get most of the money no matter what.
I think right now this is the most successful. Well, allegedly up to date. I mean, this is the most successful AAA battle royale game that's been released.
Well, the other argument could be made. Like, I know PUBG is one of those that is kind of PUBG and Blackout and Apex are all kind of in the same space, but Fortnite is on that whole other level because that's you're more kid oriented.
Yeah.
That Fortnite should be sweating it a little bit because a lot of the battle royale players are probably going to jump ship to go to one of these other modes because there's a lot of people who do not like Fortnite, but they love these other battle royales. So now you've got enough of them that people can pick and choose.
Well, I think it's gonna. I mean, for some people, it's gonna be this is the next best thing.
Right.
And now Apex is definitely the next best thing. It has dope graphics, it has the speed, the fast twitch aspect to it.
Sure.
And I mean, there's just different gameplay mechanics within it. So I think a lot of Fortnite people would jump too. I think players from all battle royales are going to jump. I think any timer, and especially because it's free to play. Yeah. So then I think it does become kind of like a push-pull there with Fortnite, even though it's potentially not the same demographic, but it is a free game, and so is Fortnite.
Right.
So a lot of the people who aren't coughing up money for PUBG or Blackout
Yeah.
are going to be like, okay, well, here's another battle royale that I can try for free.
Right, and
like,
it's
why not
much
just
more
download it?
up someone else's
I
alley.
mean,
Right,
even
yeah.
before we came here, or even before I came here, I mean, a friend of mine just downloaded it and jumped right in. And I was like, but there was no question when I said, hey, like, we need a third. Do you want to get on in like an hour? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Right.
Because all you got to do is,
download
get the launcher and stuff.
You need Origin, though, right?
The launcher. Yes.
One more launcher.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I don't mind the launchers because I think the competition needs to be there. Put Steam in its place with its 30% cut.
So I think that's kind of a big thing for EA, or at least for BioWare, Respawn, and then and so for all those games, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So that's definitely going to be, something that's something that's going to happen in the next month, is we're going to see which one of those titles is going to, because after a month, one of them is going to be better, or 2 months, let's say, one of them is going to be way ahead of the other one.
Sure. I think Battlefield 5 is already behind their expectations for pre-orders.
Yeah.
Because they they
told their customers not to buy their game.
Pretty much. And
although they're still not doing, I heard that they were doing the numbers. They're still up in some of the top selling games of the year. So as bad as they're doing, they're still not doing terrible.
Well, no, but I also wanted to say, I don't think, now after giving it a little bit of thought and hearing your guys' discussion about it, I'm not really sure that Anthem is going to be too much of a concern, because it's not really, it's not looking toward the same market and the same gamer people.
Yeah.
So, it's I don't know, maybe if Apex is actually going to take a whole lot from Anthem.
Right, because there's some people who would want that shooter looter, and other people who want their battle royale competitive. Because one is PvE and the other is straight PvP. So that's a good point.
But they have to have a PvP aspect in Anthem.
They don't. It's completely 100% PvE. There is no PvP.
Oh, there's no
officially
arena or
announced
anything?
by the main dev.
They may add a mode to it here and there later.
That's up for discussion, but so far all the content was supposed to be PvE story mode.
But see,
fleshing out the lore.
Like from my perspective, if I had to choose, then I would still go with Anthem, not just because it's BioWare,
right?
And I'm not that much of a fanboy for BioWare, but,
right?
But just because I prefer PvE,
right? I know,
and I'm not really
I enjoy PvE as well. I mean, PvP has its place, but I honestly kind of respect a game that's gone full on one way and not crammed multiplayer in just because they feel like they need to. Yeah, although this is multiplayer, but it's co-op.
And also for the fact that Anthem is it may have microtransactions, but it's not going to be as bad as a free to play game.
Right. And
if I'm paying $60 for Anthem, then I expect that I'm going to get $60 worth of content, regardless of if I pay them more for microtransactions or not.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That is a tough argument. Speaking of other player versus environment games, how about those Telltale games?
Telltale games, nice try. Speaking of other studios that are hot garbage, Telltale, they actually put out some pretty good games. It's sad to see them go, but they're dead.
That happened a while ago, didn't it?
It did. They've been dead, but now 4 of the devs that were previously working there before it went down in flames, they all left, and they've come together to create Ad Hoc Studio, which is a new basically video game company that's dedicated to interactive narrative games.
So that sounds familiar.
Yeah. So they're not straying too far from the path, but they think they could do it better, I guess. All 4 of them, like I said, left before it shut down in September last year, and they've all got background in TV and film, so they got the chops to make some actual decent narrative games.
And it sounds like they have the foresight too.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So that's good.
So are they any talk about are they gonna change the animation style?
Well, they're not using the same engine because it's a completely different company.
I never like cel-shaded graphics.
Yeah, I mean, they might go something similar. Who knows? But I know that they don't have the rights to that engine, so they'll have to come up with their own.
It would be interesting. Well, if you said if there's people who are into TV and film, it's kind of like a more cinematic take.
I enjoyed the
I like the
Telltale games.
Yeah, I like that too. And like Borderlands is like kind of similar to that.
You know, it'd be
like,
interesting.
Look, I like that.
Yeah, the cell shades.
But it's differently if you can take it into another perspective and still do the same things.
Right.
That would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what would be interesting, though, is if they develop something for Netflix.
You know, it's funny because that's where they actually said they were taking inspiration from, was that movie Bandersnatch from Black Mirror.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah.
Because Netflix has been saying that they've been expressing interest in doing more things like Bandersnatch.
Yeah, so
More
that's
interactive
actually
stuff.
one of their main inspirations.
Do you want to go off topic for a second?
Sure.
Bandersnatch is the movie where it's the choose your own adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had that. I just want to say this. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I thought of how dope it would be to implement and like make a movie like that. And I'm like not trying to rip like anything, but I was like thinking about. And I mean, obviously, like we're in a world of like 8 billion people or whatever.
Yeah.
So ideas, me thinking of an original idea isn't like probably gonna happen. But like
You heard it here first or after the
No,
fact.
but I just thought. I mean, obviously, I thought it would be cool. I never tried to pitch anything or write anything, but I just thought, like, how cool would it be to have a film with multiple scenes that were shot, and then you could kind of pick, like, choose your own adventure. Same thing. Like, I had the same idea, but it's like, how would you even implement that? But obviously now, because we have smart TVs and consoles and things, you can kind of use, go in one way or the other. But I just thought it was kind of funny. And when you brought it up, and I've told other people that, it's like I thought about how cool that would be, and then they did it.
You know,
and
when
so
I was
think it would be
playing
great
Grand Theft Auto back in the
continue
day,
it.
I always thought that it'd be really cool if they had made
I feel like
that
you're gonna troll me.
Grand
right now.
Theft Auto online at some point. I did. I had that idea. I was like, you know what would be dope? If they put this thing online. And then years later, look what they did.
Thank you for that. I don't know why you're trying to one up me, but
I'm just kidding.
no, but I really did. I thought how great of an idea, and then someone did it.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
great minds think alike.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I bet if you had like an IP that you could have done it with, you would have.
Sure.
So
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just like, I'm not saying that, that was my idea and I was going to do it first. I'm just saying.
you know,
like,
what was your idea? This podcast. Thanks, Chris.
Actually, the same thing. Around 2 years ago, around the same time, I did want to start this podcast.
Me too. We just never talked about it
Yeah.
until 2 years
Yeah.
later, and now here we are.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of an interesting and fun story to tell. And maybe a little backstory on
Sure.
who I am.
I'm just glad to be here.
It's great.
You fucking troll.
Uh-oh, timestamp.
I'm not. We're after a minute. We're fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube apparently they stopped that if you have swears after a minute, then you're fine. So
Do you want to explain?
tip.
Yeah, do you want to explain?
let
the
me
way
tell
that
you about
algorithm-
how timestamps work.
No, explain how the swearing and the censoring and
You trying to troll me, Chris?
yeah, a little bit.
All right, so just to finish up here, they say a direct quote from them is they see choice at the heart of games that they plan to develop. So, and then
Heard that before.
yeah, in an interview with Variety, Ad Hoc's chief creative officer Pierre Chouret, I think I said that right. If I didn't, sorry. He said, "It feels like we're at the precipice of a big shift in how we consume media, where the lines between film and television and games are starting to blur. With streaming platforms in our homes and cell phones in our pockets, we're in this unique time when barrier to entry for interaction is gone. So, as a group of people whose expertise and experience has come from making interactive narrative that sits in the space between, we feel now is the perfect time to form a studio that focuses on creating content for a new space."
What voice is that?
It was his voice, obviously.
No, what was that author who was always like? They're like, they'd always rip off.
It just
him like
sounds.
cartoon
He
stuff.
sounds just a little uppity.
Is that how the guy actually sounds?
That was a direct quote. So
Oh, but
just like
was that a direct?
I don't know what he sounds like.
Oh,
I
okay.
only read the text, but that's what he sounded like in my head. So
That's a nice inspirational quote for somebody who's trying to pitch a new company.
it's true, and he makes good points. Like you were just saying, like we're that Bandersnatch dope. That's pretty much, if you summarize it, it's 2 words: bad expansion dope.
I think I think the line. I don't know. My take on it is, I agree that the lines are blurring between television and film. What is so funny?
You're like, what is that voice?
Well, no, because there's like a character that's been depicted on different television cartoon shows.
And he's like the guy with the big nose. He's
and he has like a weird mustache.
Yeah.
Not the I don't know.
Rugrats, maybe?
No, Elderberry, not Elderberries, the Thornberry.
Yeah!
The dad.
That's the one.
Yeah. But anyway, I agree. I think the lines can be blurred between television, film, games, and any other kind of digital media, but it's like, why not just focus in and do great at one thing instead of, you know what I mean, trying to kind of create a television, movie, video game.
Because,
you know what I mean? This is the same thing that works for Sony. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean, is they make a game console for playing games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's worked so well.
As opposed to trying to do all that.
I'm not trying to rip on Xbox, but it's like, you know what, look. Look at, but focus in. Yeah,
purposes.
Focus in. But it's like, I know it's for basically where I'm going is for a gamer. Me as a gamer, it's like, I want to play games. I don't want to buy a game and then watch a movie.
Well, and that's where you and I are completely different gamers. Yeah. You're all about gameplay, and I like narrative much more, which is why.
Well, there's definitely RPGs and stuff that I get into that have like tons of dialogue and reading and script, but it's like, I know I'm getting into that, you know what I mean? But so it's like, if you're gonna be making a game, you know, I guess just be upfront about it. What kind of content you're gonna be delivering people, you know what I mean?
I think that the video game players out there are more likely to get behind more movie-like games and stuff like that than the TV watchers, the average TV watchers, are willing to get into interactive media on the TV end.
Right.
I think that there's because video game players are used to it.
That's a good point.
They're used to narration.
Yeah.
They're used to these things. TV watchers, though, they just want to sit in front of the TV and watch a show.
That said,
spoon-fed everything.
I do kind of hope that they do a little bit better in if it's actually going to be interactive. That it's not just the illusion of choice that the Telltales are notorious for.
Hardest aspect of all these kinds of games.
Yeah.
Because like the Telltale games and like even games that say specifically it's all about player choice.
Right.
It largely often does not really come down to much choice. Like
it sucks. Yeah.
You get you start in the beginning here, and then you have a few different branches of choice, and then you end up in the same spot at the end, no matter what.
Right.
And you're just like, well, what's the point of all this stuff I did?
Right. Exactly.
But then again, though, like it also really depends on how it's delivered, because there are some games like that where the end is the same no matter what, but you're still happy with the journey that you took to get there.
Right. It still gave you the sense of
like. It really depends on how it's done.
Yeah.
You gotta do it very well.
Only issue with some games is that the journey, if you go to play it through again, is it really that different?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's the real problem with games that claim to be about choice.
And the journey is great, but the illusion of choice really isn't there. And then I feel like you lose your replayability.
I think
which is a big thing for me too, especially with single player games. Is what can you do? What can you do to make someone want to play through again? Just like with the Resident Evil games, where you can unlock infinite ammo or different story modes or different storylines and stuff. You know what I mean? But that stuff makes you want to play it again.
Yeah.
And a good example of this, and again, I'm not trashing anybody. I'm just saying the Division, the first Division, to me has no replayability. As far as the story mode, it's what's the point? You let me build every skill tree through, and I've played every character, and I can do everything that a character can do in one playthrough. Why would I ever want to play it through again?
Now, see, one that did this pretty good, and it is Until Dawn, right? Because that one had some choices that you could make, and any characters, all of them could die, none of them could die. Yeah. So actually, it's not replayability for me so much as I wouldn't want to go and do that again. Yeah. But I enjoy watching it like a horror flick with my friends and watching them play through it to see what they do instead of me. And then when it's different, it's more content.
I think it really depends on how well does the developer essentially make it seem like there's more choice in there than there really is. If you like, can you make it so that, like, a good example is RE2 or the remake. Mm-hmm. The A and B scenarios are pretty different. Like, you go through the same locations, but, like, Claire and Leon have two different stories.
Right.
So if you want to see the full scope of things, if you want to get the true ending, then you have to play A and B.
Right.
You can't just do one or the other.
Right.
And there are some games out there where there's the choice idea, but it's implemented poorly because it ends up making you feel like, well, if I chose the other thing, I'd basically get the same outcome even within chapters. Like, it breaks down, like, it's not even about the ending. It's like, it's like go through the vent or go over the gutter or something like that. Like, oh, okay, well,
I think, a good example would be the Detroit Become Human was kind of like chapters, I felt like. Whereas, like, well, each instance, you can do it so many different ways.
Or, like, with Telltale with the episodic type stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, is the ending different? Even though regardless of how many different choices you made in each chapter, does that change the ending?
Right. And
so it's kind of like,
Right, exactly. So, hopefully that they can branch out a little bit and have those forks that if they do anything episodic like that, the forks can be varied enough that it actually matters what you do. And
so instead of having this like giant balloon where you come back to or let's say Zeppelin, where you come back to the same point at the end, you know what I mean? It would be more of a
more like
parachute,
or like a tree branches or whatever.
I don't know why I'm thinking air.
Cell capillaries.
I mean, the part of the problem that these like choose your own adventure kind of games have is that there's only so much you can develop for.
Right.
There's only so many options you can develop.
Unless you're Red Dead.
Yeah, and you have to have like a crap ton of development power and money behind you to be able to put enough different endings and different scenarios in there to make it really feel like an authentic experience.
Which a new studio with 4 people, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but hopefully they can still, drop
they could
something.
definitely upload. They could definitely drop something on Steam. That's for sure. So people could play it there.
Steamy.
They probably shut up shop at Steam.
Yeah.
Speaking of Steam, thanks for the slam dunk there. Layup.
When you point it out, it just doesn't really...
I think it's called the alley-oop.
The alley-oop! Steam!
Yeah.
All right, so...
It does suck, though, when you trash every segue.
Every single one. I just, like, my thing.
Good job. Nah.
Hey, if we had smooth segues, this would not be epic.
I don't think we can have smooth...
It's unacceptable.
We can't have smooth segues, well...
Man, it was a nice little... So, next time, I'm going to actually just try and run with it. One of these days, I'm not going to trash the segue. Yeah. Okay, so we got the Steam Awards. They been running, people voted, and now the results are in. We'll do Game of the Year. The Game of the Year is... any guess? Any guess?
For Steam?
From Steam, the Game of the Year. I'll let you know what the runners-up were.
The only thing I play on Steam is PUBG.
So, there was Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. Hitman 2. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And
Can I
player...
guess before you go?
And PUBG.
Oh, really?
And that's it.
Oh, then if those are the nominees, then... You said Red Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it actually is probably Red Dead. But I know Kingdom Come Deliverance was actually really, really good. Like, I know some players who are really into those type of fantasy games, and they said the role-playing, and, like, they said it was really, really good for what it's worth. I also think...
Take your guess and put it in the comments.
Yeah, I guess right now, put it in the comments. But yeah, I potentially would just go with Red Dead as well, because they waited this long to put the awards out. So
I think it's funny because I didn't... Did I say Red Dead? I don't think I did.
I thought you... Oh, he said Red Dead.
He just loves Red Dead.
Run through the list again real quick.
All right, Monster Hunter World,
okay.
Kingdom Come Deliverance, Hitman 2,
yeah, you can't guess.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and PUBG.
So those are the options.
It's got to be PUBG or Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Okay.
And I'm leaning towards Kingdom Come Deliverance because I think that's...
I just want it to not be Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
It's not.
I'll give you a hint. It's not.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
It can't be.
Well, in that case, I win by default.
Okay.
Well, why? You said Red Dead.
He's just happy it's not that.
I just don't want it to be AC Odyssey.
Well, it's a popularity contest, so it was PUBG.
Yeah.
Took
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Hey.
So,
but I heard really good things about Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I did too, but I was also trashed by all the PC not
Gurus?
PC, but like the politically correct crowd. They were
geez,
like,
why?
"Oh, this guy's a something or other," and
Misogynist. or
yeah, something I don't know, because there wasn't. I
'Cause
think
he was like living in the medieval times.
Yeah.
What else would a man be?
yeah,
Like, what do you mean?
They didn't. There wasn't enough diverse representation or whatever. So
In,
whatever.
That's
in,
trash.
in a game of what setting?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever. That's fine. You can be mad if you want.
PUBG did
Fine.
do a lot of
PUBG's
things though in
it.
2018.
Yeah.
Like they made huge strides.
They were like the first big battle royale, and now look at them.
Well,
Isn't that Overwatch?
no,
Now Overwatch is a hero shooter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I would also argue that H1Z1 is probably was the first big battle.
Oh, you're right. But that before that,
I don't
was,
think anything.
It
as
was World
popular.
War Z, not World War Z. Daisy.
I wouldn't say. I don't. Daisy can't.
That wasn't a battle royale.
It's a survival
right?
simulator.
But that was like
right.
people.
H1Z1
then H1Z1 built off.
I think
of that.
I think H1Z1 was popular in a niche crowd.
Yeah.
But like, and
I didn't realize that was battle royale. I thought it was actually like a DayZ simulator.
Am I thinking of the wrong game? I don't think so.
H1Z1 was Sony's. You're probably right.
Yeah,
I just didn't realize it was battle royale like that.
I'm pretty sure it was.
But not to get sidetracked. I'll just run down the rest of the awards here.
Look it up real quick.
The VR game of the year was Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR.
Really?
Yep. Runners up were VR Chat, Beat Saber, Fallout 4 VR, and Super Hot VR.
Battle Royale game H1Z1.
Called it. Nice job.
No problem.
So I personally would have voted for Beat Saber because that's the hotness right now, and it's such a dope game. And
Isn't there a really big PlayStation VR release coming out, like something Eden or something? I suppose you don't want to talk about that today.
Yeah, there is.
you know,
It's supposed to be really huge, but we'll probably talk about it in the next episode.
Yeah,
on the
I
awards.
hadn't. I usually have my ear to the ground, and that doesn't ring a bell. I
Right.
feel like maybe I've heard it in passing, but I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention when I
Yeah.
heard it. So, next up is Labor of Love. The winner was Grand Theft Auto 5. That's basically they're continuing to add patches after the game's released.
Oh.
So Grand Theft Auto 5 won that with the runners-up of No Man's Sky because they came out with that huge patch that fixed the game and added a bunch. Then there's Path of Exile, Dota 2, and Stardew Valley. You look like you have some opinion on that, no?
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of, but it's supposed to be really big. No, I don't have a big opinion, but I like that is a category.
Oh,
And because I feel like that's a very real thing.
yeah. Especially
the
now.
updates and stuff like that, and which add to the lifespan of a game. So,
Right.
I feel like that's huge
I feel like
that they're even addressing.
I feel like what's it? Fortnite probably would have gotten it if they weren't exclusive and not on Steam.
Yeah.
So big gaping hole there, but that's all right. Best developer, CD Projekt Red, with the runners-up being Ubisoft, Bethesda, Rockstar, Digital Extremes, Squeenix, Capcom, Paradox Interactive, Bandai Namco, and Cly. Best environment, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Runners-up, Subnautica, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Far Cry 5, and Dark Souls 3.
I didn't even know Subnautica was a thing.
Yeah.
Until like a couple weeks ago,
It's a
and I
pretty
looked
fun
up
game.
and I was like, it
I
looks
never
pretty
played
cool.
it, but yeah.
Apparently, it's great in VR.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a surprise.
That's like that made the podcast I listened to, VR podcast that
Yeah.
they basically gave that game of the year almost.
So that was the game that you can go underwater in VR.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought I was talking about it with somebody else, and they were talking about an underwater game in VR, and I was like
Yeah.
Subnautica, and they were like, "No, I don't think that's it." And I was like,
That was it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Better with Friends, Rainbow Six Siege. Runners up was Payday 2, Dead by Daylight, and CS:GO, and Overcooked. Best alternate history, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Well, I mean, at least it fits an alternate history.
Yeah. Runners up, Wolfenstein 2, Hearts of Iron 4, Civ 6, and Fallout 4. And last but not least, most fun with a machine, Rocket League. With the runners up being Euro Truck Simulator, Factorio, Space Engineers, and Nier Automata.
It is really nice that Rocket League has come up like that and been so popular.
I love that game.
Yeah, because it's really is kind of where sports is going for our future.
Kind of, and it feels so tight,
right.
and it's
Yeah.
so reactive. The physics are perfect, and it's one of those games that's like 5 minutes.
Right.
I got 10 minutes to spare, like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then it's like, just one more.
Yeah.
And then it's 5 a.m. and you're like, what
Right.
am I doing with my
It
life?
just makes you realize like how close we are to the future.
The future, you
Yeah.
say.
Right.
Yeah, we are getting closer and closer to the future.
Yeah. And games like Cyberpunk 2077 that take place in the future.
Yep.
But we really don't have a lot of time to talk about it. Basically, the story that's out is that it's coming. That they address the release of it not being on the Epic Game Store, and then also adding 400. What was it?
They increased their dev team size to like 400 people from like 260 or something.
Right.
Wow,
I was going to
so
say add 400, and then I knew I was wrong, so I was looking for some backup.
Yeah.
Thanks for the alley-oop.
He got it. He got it. That's exciting.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm so hyped for this game.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk's been making a big comeback, like just genre-wise.
Yeah.
In recent
Yeah,
years.
so I think it looks really good. So this makes it a potential for 2019, but probably more likely 2020 or later. But we'll know more at E3. Well, we'll know more.
Take
I mean,
your
they're
time.
they're gonna let us know. And then I think we should just go right into the playlist and talk about what we're talking about.
Well, we're good on time because his review's not going to be that long, and we actually did Apex.
Yeah.
Most of that. Well, you have more to say about that?
Well, I was just gonna talk about some of the gameplay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And I've just been playing the shit out of Apex, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's really awesome, and like the fact that it's free to play, like I have no, I had no hesitation to download it, play it, and tell all my friends to download it and play it.
Okay. Well, I would have downloaded it, but then I saw the article that said everyone's down, and I was like, well, not gonna bother.
Well, that was the day I downloaded it, and then I just watched Netflix,
Yeah.
and then the next day I just played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I actually downloaded it on my PS4 and my PC, but I've only played it on PC.
So how is it?
I mean, I really enjoy it. I think it's just it's the newest, the latest and greatest battle royale, and I think it is the greatest.
Well, what's so much
newest
better
and
about
greatest.
it than the competition?
Ooh, I just think PUBG is it's served its purpose, and it's kind of paved the way to let other developers in and kind of start working on their take of the genre, and so I think that's great.
No game has been as horrifying sitting in a bathtub as PUBG. Waiting for them to bust through the window and gun you down at any moment.
No, I just really like it, and I mean, I think it's a lot closer gameplay to gameplay as Blackout, but then because they add like the hero aspect to it, where each character that you have has special abilities, and passive and active, and then an ultimate ability, but it does lean more away from a simulator like PUBG and towards a fast twitch, more competitive esports kind of game. I shouldn't say esports because I don't feel like any of those RNG battle royales are
right.
Like, I mean,
RNG just
they're
ruins anything competitive.
Well, I mean, kind of a little bit, but it'll probably still be in there. Like they'll probably still have big tournaments like they did for PUBG and Fortnite and stuff like that. And so it'll still be. But like, there's always that argument of like, well, I just didn't win because I dropped and I went into 3 houses and didn't get a gun.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, there's always that argument where it's not. Basically, it's just not a level playing field.
Right.
Like, it's not starting as a level. I mean. But it's really hard to argue, but it's arguable. So I mean, I really like it, and I think it's the things that I didn't like about Blackout. I think are kind of fixed in this, but I'm still pretty early. I mean, I've probably only played for maybe 8 hours max.
Okay,
and that's given myself some. I probably played for 6 or 5.
Yeah,
but it's still really fun, man. And like I've been, it's easy to get on with friends and stuff. So it's
have you been using that ping system at all, or do you always just play with a mic?
I do ping, and I do like it.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice. Yeah, I mean it was a little tough to get used to. I should just reformat like my keybinds.
Yeah.
But because in PUBG, F is like your interact or action button.
Right.
And in Apex, E is your open door and stuff like that, and like pick up items and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm always hitting F, and F is to ping enemies. Oh. So my team's always like, "Is there an enemy close?" And I was like, "No, I was just trying to pick up some shotgun shells." But I am really liking it, and I am really enjoying it. And I think it is the thing to be playing right now. Obviously, like I'm not a big Fortnite fan.
Mm-hmm.
I did like PUBG and I tried Blackout, but I'm definitely happy with Apex and what they're bringing and offering. I don't know if I'm ever going to spend any money because you can acquire in-game currency to buy skins and stuff like that. So I haven't even looked into what you can purchase.
I was going to ask you, like, how bad does the grind feel as a free-to-play game?
It doesn't feel bad at all because there's 2 players that are locked that you can purchase, but they cost like 12,000 credits. I forget what the credits are called, but it's like I've been playing for 5 hours and I think I have 3,600 credits so far, and I'm not good at this point. I'll get better because I'm usually pretty good at shooters and stuff, but it just takes me that learning curve, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sure the better that I get, the faster I'll be earning those credits.
Right.
But I'm not totally sure how the system does work, but they're obviously the things that you can buy are also available with in-game currency from grinding. But it's like a game like this is like there's no reason why you wouldn't want to grind because you're just going to be playing anyway.
I do want to just point out that the one white male character that they have in the game is literally toxic.
I don't know what you mean because I haven't.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, he has
He's like the toxic Avenger or whatever.
No, he has poison clouds as his special ability.
Of course.
I just thought I'd point that out.
Well, there's other characters, but in that I mean they wear, part of their attire covers their face and stuff, so potentially they could be. I don't know.
I just wanted to kind of rip him for that because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. I didn't really think about it, but
And I
don't
think
know.
he's one of the ones that are locked.
Yeah,
he is one of the.
He's the one you got to.
But what's nice is that they're probably going to open up more, like similar to Rainbow Six Siege, is they're going to open up more characters maybe for new seasons and stuff, and potentially like a new map. So it's like, in my mind, it's kind of like they're taking a lot of great aspects from other games and kind of like kind of smushing them together and making something that really works. Because in my opinion, battle royales are dope.
Yeah.
So was Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Right.
And so like especially the way that, what did they call it? Like love after life, or what was the Steam thing?
Oh, labor of love.
Yeah, the same thing of updating your games.
Yeah.
Like, as they go on.
Games as a service.
Right, and so I think Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege does a great job, and I just hope that Apex kind of implements that same, that same thing into Apex.
So I don't know. Are we gonna go over time so we can fit in the last thing, or do we want to?
Usually we can like squeeze another 10 minutes. So why don't we go into what you're playing, and then we can go through.
All right, so we're gonna be a little over today. That's
We're
right.
skipping the review then.
No.
Okay.
So you're still in it, bud.
Yeah. So
So I haven't said much.
we had like a little impromptu hangout game session for all of this weekend. So he was hanging out. We ended up popping in.
I wasn't invited.
No, yeah. Sorry, next time.
Nah, just fucking.
It really was kind of like an on the fly thing, but
yeah.
Oh no, he's mad.
No, I'm not mad.
All right, good.
I was busy.
Okay. So yeah, we played this really old game, The Suffering, and it was dope. And I don't know, like if anyone's played it back in the day, it's like the original, one of the like serious horror games where you play as a prisoner, this inmate that you had the choice to be good or bad, and whatever you did, kind of like the flashbacks that you'd have of you and your family, like apparently you murdered them all. So, like, whenever you make bad choices, like killing people that you find that are, like, trying to help you or whatever, then, like, you get flashes of your murdered family, but if you don't, you get flashes of, like, your loving memory of having good times with your family. And the cool thing about this game was that all the enemies were based on types of execution methods that they used in prisons. So, like...
It was really ahead of its time.
Yeah.
The creatures, like, one of the creatures was... It was like all bound up and had like instead of having forearms, it had like blades coming out of it's the end of its biceps and like legs, like blade legs almost, and like it could climb around on the ceilings and everything. And when I first played that game like years ago when I first released, I wanted to shit my pants because like it was just. Yeah. Like the atmosphere of that game was really on point. Yeah. Everything about like the it
was oppressive.
The feeling, the sense of dread and everything, like the location. It was based on the Eastern State Penitentiary, which is like a really creepy place. Yeah. And there was a lot of lot of bad things that happen there to their prisoners, and they captured that really well in the game.
Yeah.
And to see like these really innovative monsters that you have to come up against in the game,
Yeah.
Especially knowing like the history, like where they come from,
Yeah.
it was really fun to. I mean, like now that I'm 33, it doesn't really affect me like that
Right.
anymore.
Well, I think it's the graphics too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the graphics
Looking
didn't
back
age
now,
well, but
yeah.
And the gameplay, it was a
Right.
lot clunkier than they're used to such tight, shooting now. It's just
Yeah.
like,
But I really wish that somebody would do like a remake or something like that
I'd
of
buy
that
the
game,
hell
because
out of that.
it would be good.
Yeah.
It would be really good, and with today's graphics and technology,
I know.
the Suffering would be dope.
some of those,
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know what game you were talking about when you said the suffering, and then when you started talking about like the inmate stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah, it's an
I didn't
old
think
game that was like
it is,
2004 or
Classic.
something like
well, we were
that.
gonna play San Andreas, and then you.
Oh yeah, I didn't have it. I didn't have a controller for the PlayStation, so I got the Xbox instead. So yeah. I guess it's time for our first review ever.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Trash.
Everybody,
Trash.
first trash review. I'll do my best to live up to the name. So
No,
I
you'll do a good job.
got the chance to play a VR game, The Fisherman's Tale. Well, what can I say about it? The gameplay is for a VR game, because I mean I've played a few VR games, and we played it on my VR headset. So the gameplay itself is interesting. It's a puzzler, and it goes kind of in multiple stages, and it's not a very long game. Like you can get through in about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. Is that about how long it was for me?
Yeah, right around there. Yep.
And I won't spoil the story, because the story is kind of like the main reason why you'd want to play it.
Right.
It is very story centric. But it
Not so
starts
much
out,
gameplay.
It starts out well. I mean, but the gameplay is actually really interesting too.
What is the premise of the story?
Well, you start out as basically this wooden puppet, and you have the narrator starts out with like giving you basically instructions on how to play through the environment, which is a very small environment. You start out in like this lighthouse, in the house section of the lighthouse.
Is it the snap momentum?
Yes.
Okay.
So you look, and then you can pull the button and jump to that spot.
Gotcha.
And you can also use the X and circle buttons on the move controllers to like do a quick turn.
Okay.
That way you can keep facing toward the camera.
Gotcha.
Which is really useful for VR games. But anyway, so you can interact with a lot of stuff in the environment. You can pick up a lot of stuff, but it more or less kind of walks you through it. But the interesting thing about it is the puzzling aspects of it were cool in the sense that they made you think outside the box. There's this one part, like I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to mention it, but it really shows the scope of what you're working with when you get past that first phase of puzzles.
Yeah.
There's this one little helper guy that you have to help out, a little hermit crab.
Yeah.
And after you help him out,
Yeah.
then, or just before actually, before you help him out, you have to do something that really shows what you're working within.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the game is just revealing the more and more of the story. You go through more and more of the puzzles. You keep climbing the lighthouse. And when you get to the end of the lighthouse, you figure out what is really going on, what story is really being told.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth it. I mean, for $15, the graphics were pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for the type of story I was trying to tell. And it's
And this is on the classic PS4 too, not the Pro.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like for 2 to 3 hours, it tells an innovative, fun story with innovative gameplay for the PSVR, and it's $15. Like,
So would you recommend it or wait for a sale? Or
yeah.
It's
I
worth
mean,
it?
if you like,
Even at 2 hours?
yeah. I mean, they could have maybe added a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
And made certain parts of it a little bit more complicated to figure out. Because
I don't want to say that it's garbage because it's short. You have to take that into account. But
yeah,
there's plenty of very short, small experiences that can be amazing. So
yeah, I mean,
agreed.
It got really good reviews.
Myself.
So a lot of people do seem to like it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't buy it, so there's that.
Right.
But, for $15, I think that I would buy it myself if I had to.
Yeah.
And and you can play through it again, like, or you can show your friends or something like that, and they might be inspired by it too, because it is kind of an inspiring story. It tells a specific story.
Now, do you feel like it being VR made it that much better than your typical flat games puzzlers? Or
I think that you could make the game outside of VR, but the you can't really. It won't really give you the same sense of immersion
and scale and stuff.
And and the sense of scale is kind of important.
Gotcha.
The sense of scale is like actually kind of a big deal in the early game.
Yeah, because aren't you looking at like a replica of like a little dollhouse version of like the lighthouse?
Yeah, there's a little dollhouse version of the lighthouse, and it's all about scale. So like you really have to think outside the box, and like if you get into the game, you'll see exactly what I mean by that.
Okay.
Because it's quite a literal thing to say in reference to that game.
Right. Cool. So you heard it here. Worth a buy.
You want to put a number on it?
8 out of 10 stars.
8 out of 10 lighthouses. I don't know. We don't have to.
I don't really like to
worth a buy
stuff like that on it, but I will say that it's worth the time.
Yeah.
If you get the chance, especially if it goes on sale.
If you like puzzlers.
If it goes on sale, for sure get it.
If you just like gameplay, maybe it's not for you. Or maybe it is. I don't know. You played it.
You played it too, didn't you?
No.
Oh. Wait, who owns it?
Me.
He bought it on his account, and then I played through it.
Yep. I'm going to get to it. I heard it was good, so I picked it up.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's move into the wrap up because we're running out of time here.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So we got the challenge of the week this week. We're starting a new weekly thing where we want you to submit your epic trash moments for our montage. So we're basically going to try and just send us your worst like gaming moments and fails.
The biggest blunders.
Yeah, anything that's like you're like, oh, big oof. Send it this way, and we'll try and make a montage. We'll release it when we think we have enough for it to be worth or maybe we're trying to figure it out right now. We might just release everything we get that week, or we might wait until we have enough for it.
I think we should just turn it into our intro.
Right, there we go.
So I think the thing is so the challenge is clip it, or what is the
you want to send us a gaming clip of a fail.
Right. So what would make it even better and more likely to be in our intro or in the montage would if you're during the fail you scream epic trash.
Yes.
So it's like, and then obviously
but also you don't want to do it on purpose.
No, but if shit's happening and like you're
right after it happens, you go
for a good example, like if you're playing Apex and you're 1v3 because both your squad mates are down, and like it's going south, and you hear them coming in the house, just scream epic trash. You know what I mean? Right.
Sure.
And hopefully you'll go down right after it, and you know what I mean? But it's like if shit's
or
about
even
to go
just
south,
scream epic trash at some stranger and be like, record that on the street.
It could be from any game though. Any game, any kind of failure.
Point in life apparently.
You don't have to say epic trash, but it would be kind of cool if you did.
So if you said epic trash, it's probably going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So that's our weekly. That's our continuous. Like always send those whenever. That's every week. So from now on.
How awesome would it be if that becomes a meme?
Right.
Like people doing really dumb stuff and screaming epic trash.
But then our real challenge is in Apex Legends because it's free and a ton of people are playing it obviously now. So the challenge is kill an entire squad on a dropship.
Yeah.
So if you can do that this week, send it our way and we'll feature on the show.
I think it's clear the dropship.
I don't even play Apex.
Because usually you'll get 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah.
So if it's kind of a hot drop. Well, there's 60 players in it.
I think if you clear at least one team, I'd send it in. That's the challenge. It's not that hard. They're not going to make it ridiculous.
The only thing is like you can squad wipe.
Does it tell you if your squad is?
Yeah. If you kill a whole squad, but like
so just get
another team could have killed 2 players, and you could have killed the last one.
And
then you'd be like, I killed a squad.
I see.
Because like the characters in the game will call out.
Well, if you only kill the last person and then scream epic trash.
And scream epic trash. Yeah, I think the big thing is we're looking for epic trash.
I think the liquor challenge from RE2 should still be active though.
Yeah. I was actually going to try it.
Okay.
But I'm in a different area.
Yeah, so you could send us, if you want to try and kill the liquor with just melee, send it in Resident Evil 2.
And scream epic trash.
Only a knife.
Yep, just the knife. So, and then...
Not the infinite knife either. Because you can get an infinite knife.
I'd say you can do that with the infinite
Sure.
knife.
Oh, come on. The infinite knife is easy.
Is it? But can you stun the liquor with a knife?
I don't know if you can stun one.
Well, then, yeah, sitting there and stabbing it with a knife probably wouldn't be that easy, even if it's infinite.
I don't know.
Debatable.
Tell us what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Or don't. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Don't battlefield us, bro.
Okay. We love you.
We don't care.
I'm not saying I don't care about them. I just don't... If they don't want to give us, it's fine. I won't care about. You won't hurt my feelings if you don't respond in the comments. I don't want to tell you how to live your life.
Speaking of RE2, it was the most sold game on the PlayStation Store for January.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's nice. That's
a really cool.
That's a good one.
Even above Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nice. Okay, so question of the week. If you were stranded on a desert island and could only play one game for the next 10 years, what would it be and why?
That is a hard one. I mean, if it's only one game and not like a series like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, that's all connected. That's like basically just one full complete game.
Nope, you only get one.
Well, in that case, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
San Andreas? You're really itching for that, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just feeling it. There's a lot of shit you can do in that game. There's a lot of like
10
fun little
years?
secrets. I mean,
you could find all the things and know where all the things are. That's a good one. Okay.
What about you?
No, how about you?
Oh, I have to go last.
All right. Shoot. A 10-year game. Well, there's a bunch of really long ones like this Red Dead is pretty immersive, but I feel like that could still get old, but like you could hunt. But why would I want to hunt if I'm on a desert island? So that seems like it'd be repetitive. So I guess I'll go with I don't know, something that makes me tranquil. I don't know, man.
What was the one game that was on PS3? Blossom or Wind or what?
Oh, Flower.
Flower, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it made me
think
think
of. The most tranquil game ever.
That's what it made me think of when you said that.
Oh man.
DDR.
Oh yeah.
Keep yourself in shape.
I
Keep
suppose.
jamming, listening to tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I would. Yeah, actually, that would be fun because I'd play Stepmania. Because then I could download more songs on a desert island because it's my world, damn it. That's
so
my question.
Is multiplayer a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Somehow.
So, yeah.
Magically.
So I would definitely be playing Apex Legends.
For 10 years.
Until it dies and there's no one on.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. I mean, they'll get updated and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't tell anyone you were playing with.
Actually, that's true. Games as a service. I might actually...
Right. Well, no.
Grand Theft Auto Online. Because they
keep playing Flower, so that's
perfect.
You're stuck with Flower.
All right, so you're Apex Legends.
Apex Legends, all the way, bro. This is the day we're living in, man.
It's true.
This is the day we're
newest, latest, best.
Yeah.
The cult of the new.
Legends. And in 6 months, everybody will have forgotten about battle royale modes.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
It's
around for at least another couple of years.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
that's gonna end the show. So just make sure throw some comments in the YouTube. Find us on Facebook. Email us if you want to talk to us. But show us some love and give back and comment. Third episode. That means that we gotta have 3 comments.
Come on, guys. 3 comments.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. And as always, send feedback if you think we can improve. So.
Right.
Good show. Good show. Kid.